Okay, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope we had a good night's rest. It's another day. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of August, 2023. I see we have a good number of persons, but as in our culture or in my culture, I always let's give some 3 minutes. Let's give 3 minutes. See how many persons join us in the next 3 minutes, so that it's once it is 8:05, we can actually start. Okay. So for those of us that are here, you're very welcome. Give us 3 minutes. Let's see how many persons join us once it's 5 minutes past 8. Thank you. Okay, it's 8:05. Promise that we'll start by 5 minutes past 8. So we have a good number. I expect that others will join us. I always try to encourage us to be here as early as possible. You know, I always try to encourage us to be early as possible. The reason why I do that is because we don't want a situation whereby later, once it is 8:30, someone will come and start saying Euro USD, Euro USD. That I won't. So let's go into it because 8 o'clock the market begins to move. I want to attack it as early as possible. Okay, so let's start. Let me share my screen with us. Yeah, you can have it for some the person asking about the replay. This is also streamed live on YouTube. So we have our YouTube page. It will be dropped. The link will be dropped for you. You can check on YouTube. We have a record of all these things that we classes that we hold. Okay, so yes, beautiful morning. What is like I always want to do or like to do, what's currently going on in the market. In terms of high impact news, for today, when you look at Forex Factory, like I have checked, you see that we have a couple of high impact news coming out today, right from 8:15 a.m. Into 8:30, into 9:30, into 2:45. You can see a series of high impact news. We have on the Eurozone from 8:15, we have on GBP by 9:30. We have USD by 2:45. So we have a couple of high impact news. It means that the market is likely going to be active today in terms of volatility. Okay. For what's coming out by 8:15 today is the French flash manufacturing PMI. It's a very simple thing. Once the data that comes out is better than expected, the data that comes out is better than expected, you expect a bullish move in Euro USD, Euro JPY, Euro GBP, Euro CAD, like that. Okay. So once the data that comes out, the French flash manufacturing PMI and German flash manufacturing PMI comes out better than expected, you want to take advantage of that. What about GBP? GBP is by 9:30. By 9:30, flash manufacturing PMI and flash services. Now, the thing is this: for this French manufacturing PMI and this services PMI, there is a 50% benchmark that is given. If the data comes out better than 45 and it comes out around 50 or above 50, Euro is going to get a lot of strength. So that's what, if you want to trade this data in the next 7 minutes, that's what I would advise. I advise you trade it, especially if the data comes out close to 50 or comes out above 50. If it comes out above 50, there's going to be a lot of strength in the euro. Okay, look at it. Above 50 indicates industry expansion, below indicates contraction. You understand? So it's better for us if this data comes out above 50. All this PMI data, if they come out above 50, it will be much better for us. Like what we're expecting for GBP by 9:30 is to be above 50, you know, so that's likely to be very good for GBP. And the reason why I feel this data might actually strengthen something like Euro USD, for instance, is because if you look at it technically, I wanted to move from here and analyze the dollar index chart. Okay, look at the dollar index chart. This dollar index chart on 4 hours, okay, and you will notice on 4 hours that it has made a rejection at this resistance here. It has made a rejection. Let me zoom in so that we'll see what it has done on 4 hours. Okay, so this is dollar index on 4 hours. Got into this point where it got to the last time, you know, give us a hammer, which is a bearish indication at a resistance, you know, and this seems like, you know, the dollar index has been rejected and might likely fall. Okay, so Euro USD, something like Euro USD could take advantage of that to actually trade bullish once this data comes out, especially if the data favors the euro. I hope you are listening to what I'm saying. Okay, so that's my point. My point is that once data comes out, looking at the candlestick pattern of dollar index is expected to fall with the way the candlestick is structured. And if this data comes out between 8:15 to 9:30 and it favors the euro and GBP, you might see a very good bullish move on euro pairs and GBP USD especially. Okay, so that's the dollar index. From what we see on the dollar index, like I've said, we expect a kind of, you know, further retracement at this zone here. Okay, so it has hit the verified resistance, and so you expect a further retracement. If you also check it on the daily time frame, you find out on the daily time frame, it's been, you know, resisted around this zone here. You know, it's resisted around that zone. So we'll likely see what it will do. Okay, so that said, let's check out DE30. Let's look at DE30. DE30 is approaching a verified resistance. Okay, this morning we have a bullish move currently on DE30, but it is approaching a verified resistance. Now, this is my advice. In the next 5 minutes, the data that comes out on the euro is likely going to affect DE30 because DE30 is an European stock. Okay, it's a European stock. So that data might likely affect the movement of DE30. Okay, so this is my advice for trading DE30. I do not advise you're caught up in the 8:15 movement. Okay, do not be caught up in the 8:15 movement because this is a verified resistance. Most likely price will push up above this and likely return to this point. Okay, so what you want to do is to, I expect a bullish move on DE30 actually. If you check it on daily time frame, technically speaking, if you see what candlestick pattern has done after this rejection here, we've had 3 days of a bullish move. So I expect a bullish move on DE30. Okay, but that said, this is a verified resistance. And what does that mean? It means that the body of your candle has to close above this zone before you can buy to this untested resistance. Okay, so I expect that price will break this place and get to this point. Okay, but what I'm saying is that this is not a function of a pending order. Yes, it's possible one candle just pushes up and does everything, but this is not an aspect of a pending order, because in the next 3 minutes there's going to be a high impact news. So my advice for trading DE30 is let price close above 15,870 and then you can buy to 15,980. Okay, let price break above 15,870 and then you can let it close above 15,870 and then you can buy to 15,980. Okay, but DE30 is a bullish move. My advice to you for DE30, especially swing traders, anytime DE30 makes a retracement to the 50 period moving average or to the closest support, you can take a buy from there. Okay, you can see that that's what it's been doing around here, around here, around here, around here. Any retracement DE30 has been doing for the past 2 days has been giving us a higher high, and that's a bullish move. Okay, so that bullish move is expected on DE30. Okay, if it breaks above or if it closes above 15,870, you can buy to 15,980. Okay, and also for swing traders, you want to be patient for DE30 to retrace to the closest support for when you want to take a buy. Okay, so that's for DE30. Let's look at US 100, and US 100 is doing the same thing, especially with the candlestick pattern that shows that price may actually be falling. Okay, the dollar may actually be weakening. If we want to give it some context, there is a symposium that the investors are actually waiting for. A symposium that will be happening. I think today we're just having PMI data. This Wednesday we're having PMI data, but there is a Jackson Hole symposium that will begin tomorrow. Jackson Hole symposium. So that will begin tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the first day of that data. You understand? So what it will do for us is that a lot of discussions, a lot of deliberations will be made, especially by the US Fed during that conference. Okay, and then we will be able to tell for the next 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll be able to tell especially what the body language of the US is regarding interest rate hike. That's what everybody is looking at. Okay, so that's the main thing. That's the main thing. So let's look at let's continue. We're looking at US 100, and we noticed that after this beautiful candlestick pattern here of a dragonfly doji and a bullish confirmation, it would seem that US 100 is likely going to experience some push up. So as a level of retracement of all this fall. Okay, during last week Thursday, when we were having the indices market mastery, we actually expected this, and but we said that towards the end of the year it's possible that there is usually a fall in stocks. Okay, towards the end of the year, so I feel like price is making a retracement to prepare itself for that fall towards the end of the year, at least the last 3 months, last 2 months of the year. Okay, so that said, if you check US 100 right now, you will see that US 100 has continued its climb. Okay, it has continued its climb to the upside. It's very easy to expect it to buy to this next resistance here. But what you will also notice on US 100 is the fact that there is a resistance where it is right now. Where this candlestick is now, there is a resistance. And that resistance, if you trace it backwards, you can notice it around here, where price was supported. Okay, this place where price was supported happens to be a resistance around here. So what's my advice? If I'm going to be buying, a price has to break above that resistance. Today, the last time we had this, what market was doing was retracement. Right now, this morning, market is at various support and resistance zones. Okay, the market is currently at support and resistance zone, and when the market is at that point, pending orders are not the best. Okay, because of the fact that price could trigger your orders and not going that distance. So my advice is for price to break this. And when I say break, I always advise that the body of the candle has to close above that particular zone to tell that price has broken it. Okay, so for US 100, if price closes above 15,047, if price closes above 15,047, you can expect it to buy to 15,100. Okay, so if it can close above 15,047, you can expect it to buy to 15,100. That will be my advice for US 100. Okay, so the same thing I mentioned with DE30. Oh, that data actually came out. Let's check out what the Euro data said. Okay, well, one came out, the French flash manufacturing PMI came out positive, but here, the French flash manufacturing PMI came out positive, although still below 50, and the French services PMI came out negative, still below 50. Okay, so let's look at what impact that had. I don't expect that to have a very strong impact on the euro. Let's check. Oh, well, Euro JPY is pushing up, currently at the resistance. Currently at resistance. Let's see what D30 did. D30 is still respecting this verified resistance. I don't think this data will give us as much move as we expect in the market. You know, I don't think it will give us. This is Euro USD. You see, because if the data came out and it was above 50, that we would see a very big move in the market. Okay, but it came out, one came out positive, the other one came out negative, and both of them are below 50. I don't expect that to give too much attention or too much push to the market. So let's just continue our technical analysis. For US 100, let it break above 15,047. Close above 15,047, and then I can buy to this place. I expect a push up actually. I expect US 100 to actually get this untested resistance. Okay, to continue to do this and go up, you know, and all that. So a buy is expected, but I advise that it closes above 15,047 before you buy to 15,100. Okay, let's look at GBP USD. GBP USD bullish. Okay, you'll notice that I already have like a trend line that is drawn here, because of the perceived weakness in the dollar, the uncertainty in the dollar, till that data comes out, or till the Jackson Hole symposium for tomorrow. This is what GBP USD has done on the daily time frame. Okay, but you will notice that if you check on smaller time frame, there's been a bullish climb. Okay, you have a bullish climb on GBP USD. So my advice for GBP USD, remember that by 9:30, data will be coming out on GBP USD. I expect that it will have about the same impact it has on the euro to give it strength. You know, I expect it to give it strength, but not too much. But for GBP USD, I'm actually going to advise a buy on GBP USD. Okay, I expect this bullish move to just continue climbing. We have a small resistance on GBP USD around this zone. And when I draw it, you will agree with me. We have a resistance around this zone. You will notice that price has been rejected around here. Bullish moves in the past has been rejected around here. When price was making a bullish move to this place, it was rejected. When it was making a bullish move here, it was rejected. It was making a bullish move here, it was rejected. Making one here was rejected. So this is a strong resistance zone. My indicator does not paint it, but it's actually a resistance zone. Okay, and so my advice to, you know, follow this buy on GBP USD would be above this zone. Okay, I would advise that you go in on the buy for GBP USD above this marked zone here, and let's look at it from 1.2772, around 1.2772, and then take profit at the highest of this point here. This is about 20 pips. Okay, about 20 pips. So I'm going to be going in for my buy above this zone here. Okay, I'll go in for my buy above this zone. Once it breaks above here, I can take my pending order at 1.2772, you know, and come out at 1.2792. That's 20 pips. Okay, but I expect this trend to actually continue. If price pulls back towards this point, I expect it to continue back upwards. Okay, but we agree that this is a strong resistance zone. In fact, you can actually look out for selling from this point. You can look out for selling around here, stop loss above this green point here, but you could sell around this one because this is a resistance point where price has been rejected couple of times. Okay, so if you're buying, price has to break above that point for you to take advantage of the buy. Okay, but right now it's at a resistance. Remember, I said that most of these pairs, especially pairs related with the dollar, will be at support and resistance zones right now. Okay, the dollar index on 1 hour is on a support zone. And that means that every other pair that is related or associated with the dollar will be around that support or resistance zone right now. Okay, so that's it. Let's continue. Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Okay, so Euro has been very strong against JPY. Yesterday we had a very strong retracement in the sense that we had this bearish indication where the Euro JPY closed bearish, and almost like a bearish engulfing, covering over 50%, close to I think over 80% of the bullish move of the day before. Okay, now when you have a candle like that that covers over 50% of the market, it's actually an indication. And this candlestick pattern is something that Euro JPY likes to work with. If you see the pattern of Euro JPY, these engulfing patterns are what he likes to work with. He had something like that here, where he gave a bullish engulfing and price pushed up all the way. He had something like that here that brought price down. He had something like that here that pushed price up. He had something like that here that brought price down. Okay, so what am I saying? I'm saying that a candlestick pattern like this could actually mean that this particular sell on Euro JPY will likely continue today. Okay, yes, Euro JPY is currently reacting to that data that came out on PMI. Okay, there's data that came out on PMI, but with the candlestick pattern, I personally always believe that fundamentals will likely return to technical, so it's very possible that we still have a continued sell on Euro JPY. Now, how do we take advantage of that? Okay, good. So at this zone where Euro JPY is right now, there's a resistance, and you will notice this resistance is on the 15 minutes. Currently, Euro JPY is on a resistance on 15 minutes. Okay, what it has done, and the reason why it has given that resistance, is because you will notice that last time price got here, it was rejected, and price did the same thing, rejected around here. Price was rejected around here. Price was rejected around here. Okay, so where I want you to look at Euro JPY this morning to make a decision on what to do is on the 30 minutes time frame. On the 30 minutes time frame. So my advice is that if Euro JPY breaks above where it currently is now, around 158.340, if it breaks above 158.340, you can take about 20 pips profit. You can take about 20 pips profit at around 158.520. Okay, if Euro JPY breaks above 158.340, you can take profit around 158.520. Okay, but I would advise, okay, for people trading Euro JPY, you're not using the pending order. I feel like you could also use a sell limit around this zone here. I would advise a sell limit around this zone. If Euro JPY buys to this place, takes profit on your buy, I expect that from here, it should actually push down. In fact, all this zone here, I expect it to push back down, considering the candlestick pattern that we had yesterday. Okay, so Euro JPY, a buy right now. You can take advantage of the buy right now, 158.340 to around 158.520. Okay, but from that zone, I actually expect Euro JPY to fall back down, considering the strong bearish indication that it gave us yesterday. Okay, so we're buying now, but we are expecting to sell at this closest resistance here. Okay, so once again, Euro JPY, I'm expecting at 158.340. We take profit at 158.520, but I expect from that point for price to retrace back down. Okay, Okay, let's go to oil. We check out oil. Oil right now is on a downtrend. We know that we've been having issues with OPEC and well, not issues generally in the sense that OPEC has been able to get Saudi Arabia to reduce supply. And I was explaining to people, for people who understand oil, oil is one of the instruments that reacts the most to supply and demand change. Okay. And that is one way OPEC controls the price of oil, but they don't have the final say. You know, they are a major player in the global price of oil, you know, but they are not the only parties involved. And so what they need to do is to get their members to regulate demand and supply. If they increase supply of oil, the price will fall. Okay. If they reduce supply of oil, the price will rise, because when they reduce the supply, there would be a level of scarcity of oil. You understand? So that is why right now you see that technically oil had to obey this particular resistance point, because this point became too expensive for buyers of oil. I'm just going to also say this. Just remember that support and resistance is just their price points, and demand and supply is what designs support and resistance, in the sense that if a price is too expensive for buyers, it's generally going to go down. And if a price is too cheap for sellers, it's too low for sellers, they will not sell further, and that will cause scarcity, and that will increase the price of that commodity. That's what happens to oil. It gets to a point where it got to around 87, around this place, still on the daily time frame, around this 87 zone, became too expensive, and so it had to fall. But it's getting to a zone where suppliers of oil might decide that no, this place is becoming too cheap for us, and price may likely go up. And that is why you see it on the daily time frame that it's approaching a verified support. Oil is approaching a verified support. So what we are going to do for oil today is to go in, look out for a buy around this zone here. For oil, I'm going to be looking out for a buy around this zone. If oil retraces towards this zone, I'm going to take a buy from here. Okay, so if oil retraces towards this zone, I will take a buy from here. That's my advice for oil today. It's approaching a zone where sellers may feel that it is too cheap. You know, producers may feel it is too cheap, and then they may likely reduce supply, and that will increase price. So my advice for oil today is to look out for a sell around this verified support zone. So my sell entry is going to be from around 83.38 to around 83.05. That is where I'll be looking out for a sell from. That's how I'll be looking out for a sell from. Okay, so we are looking out for a rejection from this particular place as oil falls. Okay, looking out for a rejection from here. Let's look at gold. You will notice from my chart that I've actually been following gold, especially with the trend line. And what I can say is that you will notice that, let me zoom in a bit. You'll notice that gold has done a lot of dancing with this downtrend here, as shown by my trend line. It's done a lot of dancing downwards with this, but currently gold seems to have broken structure. It's broken above that particular downtrend. Okay, so let's give ourselves a clearer chart so that you understand what I'm saying. Okay, on the daily time frame. Now, gold has fallen so well over time. Gold has declined due to the strength of the dollar, you know, and some other interest rates, whatever that has happened. Gold has actually fallen, but it has gotten to a point where around where the last time it got there, it was rejected. You understand? And that is around here. Last time it got towards this zone, it was rejected. Okay, and so that is why gold is currently pushing up. I would advise and I expect this buy to actually continue. This buy on gold, I expect it to continue. Currently, gold is on a verified resistance, and of course, we need to follow the move of the market. You know, I expect gold to continue, but we need to follow the move of the market. And what the market is saying right now, candlestick pattern wise, when you see a candle like this, let me zoom in again. When you see a candle like this, we call this an inverted hammer. This one here with this long wick to the upside, we call it an inverted hammer. And what an inverted hammer at a resistance means is that there's a high chance that sellers are about to take over. There's a high chance that sellers are about to take over. So what does that mean? If this current candle closes bearish, it will confirm this, and your advice will be to sell gold. Okay, if this current candle closes bearish, your advice will be to sell gold. Okay, you're only going to buy gold if it trades above the wick of this inverted hammer. So I could use a pending order for gold, or I could buy gold from 1904 to around 1906. Okay, 1904 to around 1906 is where I could take out my buy from gold. But I'm not going into a straight buy immediately because of this candlestick pattern, this particular candlestick pattern here. So if price closes bearish, it would have confirmed it. Okay, so for me to buy, price has to close above this particular week. So if it closes above 1904, I can take my buy to 1906. Okay, but I expect this push up to actually continue. Okay, and so you would see I was trying to draw a trend line on gold. If I draw a trend line around here, you will notice that this is where we have, you know, it's still a steep line, not a perfect trend yet. So there's a high chance that there's still going to be a lot of retracement before price can actually take up. Okay, but it's at a resistance, and that's giving us an inverted hammer, which means that we want to watch this candle close. If this candle closes bearish, we're going to be selling gold. Okay, only if this candle closes above 1904 will we consider buying gold to around 1906. Okay, I believe that was very clear. So let's look at, I think we've only considered GBP USD and Euro JPY. Let's also consider some other currencies. Oh, look at Euro USD. Look at Euro USD. I think after that 8:15 data, 8:30 data also came out on Euro, on German CPI, and that one came out lower than expected, also below 50. Below 50. So for people who are fundamental traders, anytime you see PMI, the standard is 50. It will get a lot of strength if the data comes out above 50, but it will be very weak if the data comes out below 50. Okay, especially when it comes out lower than expected. So you will notice that for my Euro USD, I actually have a downtrend stated here, and price is still on that trend. I expect that Euro USD will likely continue falling for most of today. After any retracement it does, I expect it to still fall. Okay, so let's check where the closest support or closest resistance is, so that we can take advantage of this sell on Euro USD. Okay, currently approaching a verified support. That's what it's doing. It's approaching verified support, but I expect that it will still sell to, at least from the current market price, you can expect at least 10 pips drop. Let's see where this next verified support is. With the way Euro is selling here, this is about this quite long. At least from here, you can get a 10 pip sell to this verified support. The next verified support at around 1.0824. I expect Euro USD to come test this verified support. I expect that from here, it will make some retracement, but a sell is what is expected on Euro USD. You can see how much this data has really pushed it to continue the downtrend that it has. Okay, so I expect this sell to continue on Euro USD. Long term on Euro USD, we might likely see this sell continue to this zone here. Might likely see Euro USD continue to this zone here. How many pips is that? That's close to 200 pips. 120 something pips. Yes. So the sell on Euro USD, if you have a buy on Euro USD, especially depending on where it is, you know, I feel like you may need to have a sell position to actually help, because you will see how steep this thing is. Yes, there's going to be some retracement, but Euro USD has proved that it's on a downtrend. Okay, so my advice for trading Euro USD is to enter sell around any resistance zone. Okay, enter the sell around any resistance zone. But as it stands like this, I'll still sell Euro USD to this verified support zone here, which is around 10-13 pips away. Okay, so Euro USD is quite clear in terms of its sell. USD JPY, the dollar is actually falling against JPY, although let's check it on daily time frame. USD JPY has been on a very big trend. The same way with Euro JPY. Remember that we said on Euro JPY, oh wow, Euro JPY has been crazy, you see. Well, the candlestick pattern of Euro JPY is what has affected it. This bearish candle here has pushed it down, and this sell will likely continue for today. You understand? Likely continue for today. But let's look at USD JPY. USD JPY has really pushed up, but it is retracing. From yesterday to today, JPY has been kind of strong, and so you see this fall on USD JPY. My advice is that this sell would likely continue. It has broken. This is a proven resistance. So I expect this sell to continue. So if you're trading Euro JPY, USD JPY, I expect this sell. I expect that you're selling USD JPY. This sell is likely going to continue for another 20 pips or thereabouts. Okay, so for USD JPY, I would advise you actually sell it. Okay, advise you sell USD JPY. I think we've looked at some very good points in the market today. Please let me say this in case I forget before we look at the final instrument. For this link, this morning link, remember that with this same link we usually have our afternoon meetings. Okay, with this same link we usually have our afternoon meetings by 2 p.m. Okay, so with this same link, join us by 2 p.m. But tomorrow, by the special grace of God, tomorrow the meeting will be starting by 1 p.m. We did not have the agro commodity yesterday due to one thing or the other, but we'll be holding that tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon, please note that the meeting will start by 1 p.m. to 2:30. Okay, so don't forget that. Now, I think I would look at US 30. I look at US 30. Good. What do we have here? For US 30, we did not have a perfect confirmation to expect that with the way US 100 and DE30 did, you know, with their confirmation and the price about to push up. We do not really have that, but US 30 has been struggling with a strong support for the past 3 days, and that is this zone here, this verified support zone here. Okay, and so it's made some level of push up from this particular point here, but I would expect that it seems like there's a current strength in the dollar. You know, it seems like a current strength in the dollar. So if you're trading US 30, this is my advice, that you take advantage of the retracement zone here instead. So there are 2 things you can do. You want to be buying US 30 from this particular zone here. Okay, let it retrace towards here, and then you can look out for your buy around here. But if you want to continue the move, if the move continues, it doesn't retrace, so that we don't miss out. Okay, if price trades above this small rejection zone here at 34,490, if price trades above 34,490, then we can expect it to buy to around 34,614. Okay, if it breaks above 34,490, we can expect it to buy to 34,614. Okay, but I would expect this retracement with the way the candle is moving here for us to take advantage of a buy from this zone. Okay, that is what I will advise on these instruments. Okay, if you look at the dollar index has really pushed up from that particular point to 80. So that means that DE30 will be falling from that verified resistance. So his sell is advised. That resistance seems to be too strong for it. US 100 has not been able to break above this zone here. So this candle might likely end as an inverted hammer, and you see it fall back down. Okay, so remember, the body of this candle has to break above here before you buy. I expect that this will end as an inverted hammer and will sell for US 100. Okay, GBP USD. Oh, good. Look at how it has sold from this particular place we marked. Remember, we said how price has been selling from here. We said to buy if we broke above here, but to take a sell from this particular rejection point here. So, but for those selling, for those who are not on this sell yet, note that is at a verified support. Okay, it's at a verified support. There's another GBP data that is coming out by 9:30. I feel that from this zone here, GBP USD will retrace back up and wait for that 9:30 data. That 9:30 data will likely still push it for that down. Okay, Euro JPY falling. Oil is already approaching that zone we said to look out for a buy from. Okay, so we are going to be trading the retracement of oil around this zone here. Okay, then gold. What we said about gold. Oh, you see, this candle closes bearish. Don't forget, we have an inverted hammer on gold for the past 1 hour candle. This candle closes bearish. You are advised to look out for a sell on gold. Okay, and USD JPY, we are advised to sell on USD JPY with the way this proven resistance is quite strong. Okay, you can see how strong the dollar index is, but USD JPY is still selling. You know, it means that there's a kind of strength for JPY pairs. And then US 30 is back to approaching this zone where we expect a retracement trade from here. So you should be waiting for a retracement trade, or you can sell US 30 right now. I sell it right now, but the better chance will be to wait for a retracement trade and trade a buy around this verified support. Okay, that is the much that we can take. That's the much that we can take. Remember, I have said that this class is live on YouTube, and so it's live on YouTube. You can go, you can check it on YouTube. It would be, yeah, it was streamed live, so you have the link. I'm going to drop the link to our YouTube page on the chat right now. Well, if you're training and this class is not for people who are still training. Do you understand? You know, we are following the pace of the market. So for the person complaining about the speed, you will need to just continue with us. You don't expect to get it at once. If you're still training, if what you're doing is still training, I don't expect that you're here to take a trade. You understand? But I'm sure that as you follow us, you know, you begin to understand better. That's why what we are doing is not just giving entries. We are explaining why we are placing these trades. That has a greater chance of success, a longer period of success for you. You understand? So just keep up. Then I have dropped the link to the YouTube. You can click on YouTube, join us, subscribe, like, share, do everything. And we have these meetings there. So you could just do a quick recap for what we did today. You can head over to YouTube right now and do a quick recap on what we have done today. Okay. But we will continue this session by 2 p.m. today. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Have a very profitable day ahead. God bless you all.